This is Season 3, Episode 6 of the Emberhart podcast. The space we forge resilient character and empower the next generation of girls and women to lead with courage. So, find a quiet corner, lean in, and let us get right into it. The beautiful work of marriage, climbing life's second mountain. Dear Amelia Emberhart, in the second mountain, David Brooks offers a vision of marriage that feels both timeless and deeply countercultural. At a time when relationships are often evaluated according to personal fulfillment, convenience, and compatibility alone, Brooks presents marriage as something far more profound, a lifelong commitment that transforms us by calling us beyond ourselves. His reflections on marriage are not built around grand romantic gestures or dramatic declarations. Instead, they center on something quieter and far more enduring. A beautiful marriage is knowing that your spouse likes to arrive at the airport early. It is the accumulation of thousands of small acts of attention, consideration, and care. It is remembering preferences, noticing moods, sharing private jokes, retelling familiar stories, and making plans together. It is the daily decision to place another person's well-being alongside your own. Most importantly, it is the difficult and often unseen work of surrendering the ego. Brooks describes marriage as one of life's greatest commitments because it requires us to give up part of ourselves for the sake of something larger. Modern culture often treats marriage as a capstone achievement, something pursued after we have established our careers, identities, and ambitions. Historically, however, marriage was viewed as a keystone institution, helping shape people into disciplined, responsible, and loving adults. This distinction matters. Marriage is not simply the reward for becoming a complete person. It is one of the primary ways people become one. Rather than falling into love, Brooks suggests that we march into it. Marriage is a deliberate act of commitment. It is the choice to burn the boats behind us and invest fully in a shared future. Going all in may feel risky, but half-hearted commitment is often the greater danger. The journey of intimacy. According to Brooks, love begins with attention. The opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference. Love starts when another person captures our focus. Curiosity follows. We want to know who they are beneath the surface. Conversations deepen. Similarities emerge. Humor develops. Vulnerabilities are revealed. True intimacy occurs when one person shares something emotionally meaningful and the other receives it with care, then responds with openness of their own. Eventually comes a deeper stage of connection. Couples discover they can spend entire days together and still find more to discuss. Brooks argues that when choosing a spouse, one of the most important questions is whether you will enjoy talking with that person for the rest of your life. The relationship then moves into what he describes a combustion. Shared experiences, growing affection, mutual protection, and the comfort of being completely understood. Couples develop the habit of processing life together, discussing every dinner, gathering, movie, and experience through a shared lens. In this stage, idealization often plays an important role. Healthy love sees the best in another person and helps call that best version forward. Yet no relationship remains untouched by conflict. Eventually, every couple encounters disappointment, misunderstanding, or crisis. Forgiveness becomes necessary. This is where immature love begins to mature. The love that emerges after forgiveness is different from the love that came before. It is less focused on what we receive and more concerned with empathy, compassion, understanding, and care. It is strengthened by hardship rather than weakened by it. The marriage decision begins with you. When people consider marriage, they often spend enormous amounts of time evaluating the other person. Brooks challenges us to reverse the lens. The most important question may not be about the other person at all. They may be about ourselves. Are we ready to demand for the demands of marriage? Are we willing to surrender control? Can we commit ourselves fully to another person and accept that the uncertainty that comes with love? One particularly powerful question Brooks raises is this: do I like who I am when I am with this person? Does this relationship bring forth kindness, courage, generosity, and service? Or does it draw out insecurity, selfishness, and fear? He also cautions against settling. Marriage should never be entered with lingering doubts about whether one is merely accepting what is available. A healthy marriage begins with gratitude and admiration. You should feel extraordinarily fortunate to share your life with this person. Beyond attraction and compatibility, Brooks encourages us to evaluate the future spouse through three lenses: the psychological lens, personality, temperament, and attachment patterns; the emotional lens, friendship, philia, passion, eros, and selfless love, agape; the moral lens, integrity, honesty, reliability, and character. Disagreements are inevitable in every marriage. Contempt, however, is destructive. Admiration remains one of the strongest foundations upon which a marriage can be built. Marriage as a school. One of Brooks' most insightful observations is that marriage begins as a joy and becomes an education. No one graduates. The strongest couples remain lifelong students of communication, empathy, forgiveness, and recommitment. Success is not perfection. In many of these subjects, a solid B is more than enough. A thriving marriage depends on practical wisdom, what the Greeks called metis, knowing when to give space, when to draw close, when to speak, when to listen, and when a small gesture will mean more than a grand one. Healthy marriages are built through countless small moments. Relationship experts often describe these as bits for connection. One partner points out a beautiful sunset, shares a thought, asks a question, or seeks attention. The other partner can turn toward that bit or away from it. The masters of marriage consistently turn toward. They notice opportunities to appreciate, encourage, and connect. By contrast, relationships often deteriorate through four familiar habits: contempt, criticism, defensiveness, and stonewalling. These behaviors create emotional distance over time. Brooks also warns against sulking, that silent expectation that the partner should somehow understand what has not been communicated. Strong marriages require courage, honesty, and direct conversation. There will inevitably be difficult seasons. Many couples experience major strain after children arrive or during middle age. During those periods, the answer is not withdrawal, it is recommitment. The path forward is often found by choosing closeness over distance, engagement over apathy, and love over resentment. The second love. Perhaps the most beautiful idea in Brooks' vision of marriage is what he calls the second love. This love comes after disillusionment, after mistakes, after forgiveness, after seeing each other at your worst and choosing to stay. It emerges when two people have weathered hardship together and discovered that they can survive what they once feared would break them. This love is deeper because it is rooted in reality rather than fantasy. It is not based on perfection, it is built on grace. Marriage at its best is not merely a relationship, it is covenant, a school, a partnership, and a shared journey up life's second mountain. It asks much from us, often more than we think we can give. Yet, in asking us to become less selfish, more forgiving, and more devoted, it offers something increasingly rare in modern life: the opportunity to become fully known and fully loved by another imperfect human being. This is your moment. Take command and show us the path. Thank you for tuning in. If you found value in today's show, help someone else by sharing this episode or leaving a review. For more tools, head over to emberhart.com or follow us on Facebook at Emberhart Co. Keep showing up. See you next time.